Welcome back to the Holy Spirit verse by verse. Today we are in Acts 15:28, and it is at the conclusion of the Jerusalem Council here in Acts 15, which we introduced in the last episode. The apostles provide the evidence that the doctrine of the Pharisaical circumcision party, which many today call the Judaizers, was indeed a false doctrine. Based on the witness of the Holy Spirit, which he provided by causing the Gentiles to speak in tongues, it was forever established that God made no distinction between the salvation of the Jews and the Gentiles. That is precisely what Peter concludes about the Spirit's work, giving them the Holy Spirit just as he did to us, and he made no distinction between us and them, having cleansed their hearts by faith. That's verse 9. To distribute the authoritative conclusion the apostles had announced to the gathering, they sent out a letter enumerating the points of the decision of their deliberations. Acts 15:28 shows that they understood the true authority behind their decision. That authority resided in the Holy Spirit. The letter concludes its thoughts by stating, "For it seemed good to the Holy Spirit and to us to lay on you no greater burden than these requirements." With those words, the apostles expressed that they realized their words were guided by the inspiration provided to them by the prophetic influence of the Holy Spirit. Their ability to draw a proper conclusion about God's wanting the Gentiles in the church is directly connected to the Spirit's prophetic influence on them. The Spirit's work at the Jerusalem Council was to provide these Spirit-filled apostles with the words needed to declare the truth of God's will regarding the Gentiles. Amazing that even in a council as important as Acts 15, the Spirit's work is sufficient when he provides prophetic ability. You know what is even more interesting? Is that the apostles thought that they could simply write a letter and the new Christians could just read it and, using their human minds, understand the words. And if they obeyed the letter that they just read and understood, they would do well. Not a single mention of the Holy Spirit needing to help the ordinary Christian who would read the letter to be able to understand it. Well, maybe all those early churches had a pastor like the one you probably have at your church, who would claim to being led by the Spirit so that he then could teach the Christians what the apostles actually meant. Oh, wait, that actually did happen. Judaizing pastors. And because of it, the Apostle Paul had to write a dozen other letters to silence these false Judaizing teachers. Strange how those Spirit-led pastors still lead churches today. Use this chapter to understand something. You don't need them.